And accreditation only certifies a certain process and a standard, but it does not testify to the experience of students.
Eduniversal is different from the QS and the Financial Times in the sense that Eduniversal is using assessment by peers.
I cannot see any better procedure in any of the other rankings.
So at that time in 2007, this was a very new thing to happen, that we've got a ranking system that's not coming from a magazine and a newspaper, nor is it an accreditation.
Nos classements se font avec l'aide de tous, c'est important de le préciser, de le rappeler. D'abord avec les élites du top management des établissements d'enseignement supérieur, en l'occurrence les doyens, qui ont le droit de vote dans le système Eduniversal, donc les doyens de toute la Terre. Et également avec l'aide des étudiants qui remplissent nos enquêtes, programmes. Ces classements partent chez l'huissier de justice avant toute démarche de monétisation. C'est très important de le préciser.
In the ranking system, the organization will compare different programs and different schools. We get surveys and feedback actually from the students, from the alumni, from the employers. For accreditation systems, there is an external organization that verifies whether a school or a program meets a certain standard. So the ranking system is not the same as accreditation.
So in 2007, when Eduniversal started, we used to have a lot of discussions, dialogues, debates about the methodologies, evolving the methodology, and also looking at how to refine it. Now we have reached a level of maturity as far as that is concerned.
Depuis 2007, Eduniversal recense et labellise des universités dans 153 pays contre seulement 40 à 60 pays couverts par les systèmes d'accréditation. En 2025, Eduniversal, ça fait 17 ans qu'elle aide les étudiants à se repérer dans 153 pays.
The most important advantage actually that Eduniversal provides is the ranking per country, per region, and worldwide.
That allows for the ranking system to both account for regional differences, but also make sure that there's consistency and quality across business schools around the world.
Well, I think that there is one thing that I think it's critical about Eduniversal ranking, and it's the unique way Eduniversal measures reputation. It's possibly the best possible way of measuring reputation is doing that across peers in the industry. But peers that are well-known and well identified. So it's what you do is basically you measure reputation across the panel of deans of all the business schools that you rank. And I think that in retrospective, I cannot see any better procedure in any of the other rankings.
For QS, for example, they look the global ranking, they pay attention to internationalization. Financial Times, for example, they focus on salaries and career progression. Eduniversal is different in the sense that Eduniversal is using assessment by peers. We have what we call the Dean's Vote that determine the ranking of the schools and the programs.
I'm Dr. Anita Madhok. I'm an educationist and a psychologist. It's a rare combination. I spent many years working in education, particularly in business school education. And now I work as a coaching psychologist. I also teach currently in lots of business schools, eminent ones in Mumbai. For Eduniversal, I work as part of the scientific committee, and I represent the Central Asian region, all the business schools in this region. And I do know we are doing an ethical job, so that's all the more reason for me to continue. So not only on the part of the business schools, I also feel it's also been such a great service that Eduniversal has done to students.
En fait, la nomination des experts au comité scientifique, c'était le préalable à toute démarche au niveau international. Si on prend une zone culturellement homogène, on en a identifié 9. Et donc, il fallait un expert, quelqu'un d'extrêmement reconnu, aussi fasse l'objet d'un consensus dans sa zone, et qui soit à la fois le porte-drapeau, l'ambassadeur, et un petit peu aussi l'arbitre dans la zone.
One good thing about Eduniversal is that it also just doesn't depend on sitting thousands of miles away and trying to assess an institution. They do reach out to local experts who understand the context and the local systems, because these can vary a lot across the world. So one distinctive feature of Eduniversal for sure is the external experts who are on the panel, who give their inputs to make the process much more grounded and rooted in the reality of a particular geography.
So our role is to look at, first of all, keep an ear to the ground, what's happening in our region. And second, to look at the results of the research, which is done by Eduniversal primarily. We don't have to do the ground level work, but they do the ground level work. And then they send us the results. So to moderate in case there is anything that is out of place or out of context.
Et donc on est assez confiant dans les experts d'Eduniversal pour voir ça. C'est ça surtout qui est important. Utiliser des critères classiques pour classer, ça, bon, très bien, mais c'est vraiment la connaissance du contexte. C'est ça qu'on a vraiment besoin, nous, et qu'on attend aussi des experts Eduniversal.
Il y a un vrai ciment collégial entre tous les membres du comité scientifique, et lesquels d'ailleurs sont les mêmes depuis le début.
My name is George Jabour. I am a professor of finance, director of the master's program and vice dean for executive education at the George Washington University School of Business. I am also a member of the International Scientific Committee of Eduniversal Ranking Committee.
L'intérêt d'Universal pour nous, c'était que Eduniversal était capable de classer des composantes à l'intérieur de l'université, donc capable de classer des diplômes, des licences, des masters. C'est pour ça que beaucoup d'IE ont trouvé leur compte dans Eduniversal, puisque eux arrivaient à descendre à ce niveau de granularité, hein, c'est-à-dire le diplôme et la composante, ce que font peu d'autres classements ou pas du tout.
The thing that is distinctive about Eduniversal is that the ranking system recognizes a very wide range of programs and accomplishments, wider than many of the other ranking systems.
And I have to say that because I've said that several times in many different places. The way the Times Higher Education measures reputation is a complete black box. QS is different because QS allows us to give a list of people that can actually witness on our behalf. But in those rankings, the way you measure reputation, and reputation has a tremendous weight in those rankings, is absolutely non-transparent. Whereas in Eduniversal is completely transparent.
It gives the student more information because some students, they would like to study in their own country. Eduniversal can provide information about the schools and the programs within that country. Some of them, they would like to go international or to another continent or anything. Also, Eduniversal can provide that information for them. And that's why I did say that Eduniversal is more horizontal, if you want, that, rather than a vertical ranking system.
Over a period of time, people will realize that you can't compare an Indian Institute of Management with any university or Ivy League college in America. You cannot compare apples with oranges, and you cannot rank them in the same way. So I do believe that Eduniversal is a far superior system.